This is Rob from Detachment.
And this is Ben from Detachment.
And you are listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience podcast.
The Metal Teddy Bear Experience has begun.
And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience podcast right now. This is your host, Chris. We got Jesse. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
All right, and we have a special guest on this show, like always. But we got two returning guests. We got Ben and Rob of Detachment. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up? Doing good.
Glad to have you guys back on. It was a pleasure always talking to you guys, and we actually got to see each other, Ben, last week, right?
Yes, we did.
God, it's crazy.
Partied in Huntington.
So we also do this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. So this is also just audio based. So people get used to your name. Can you just introduce yourselves and what you do in the band so people get used to how your voice sounds? Ben, you can start.
I'm Ben, and I play drums in Detachment.
Yeah, I'm Rob, and I sing and yell and do all vocals for Detachment.
Sweet. I yell into the mic.
I yell hard.
Yeah, I think my cat wants to be in the podcast right now. It keeps like jumping up on me right now.
I love when lagging happens because it just makes someone look like they're in another dimension. It's like, how's it going? Help me. Get me out of here.
There was one podcast. I was asking a question, and then I realized, like, because everyone was kind of like, look how Jesse is right now with that face. That's how he was staring at me. All of them, though. And I was like, did they not like the question? What the hell? And then I realized I froze. My thing froze. And they were all having a conversation on their own. I was like, oh, fuck. Cut that out.
And if you're a nervous wreck, you got anxiety, imagine just like, my question was so bad, I broke all of them at once. Yeah. They just all didn't even react poorly.
Yeah, just staring at me like.
But
guys, what's been going on since the last show, which is, when was that? Was that a year ago now? Because when Gaslight came out, January, right?
January, yeah.
To me, that feels like a year.
We only played 2 shows this year, and both of them were great, I'm happy to say. They were both very memorable shows, but we've only played 2 shows this year, so no tours or anything like that. We have been active lately.
Yeah, I see those band updates, or I should say studio updates.
Yeah.
That's sick. Tell us a little about that. Like, who came up with that? Was that something you just says, you guys, we should just do something?
Yeah, I knew that just any chances of touring or shows were just not happening. So I'm like, we need to do something to gain momentum back. So I thought, let's just write a single and record it, and let's just release it in the fall. And that's what we did. We squeezed as much out of it as possible for like the studio updates and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically taken up our time lately.
That's a good thing to do, because also I've been seeing like a lot of bands who haven't been doing much, and like they're super talented, but if you're talented and you don't go out there, it's like the people who are sick instrument, like they play really well in the room, but they never go out. It's like, dude, you're the best guitarist in your room, but like no one knows. So it's like, it's a good thing to get those updates. It's a really good move.
I always say you can write the best songs in the world, but if nobody hears them, it kind of doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So, kind of a philosophy of mine.
And you guys are in Westfall Studios, right?
Yeah, we're Westfall. I mean, we're done tracking. We're not going back there for a while. We used to practice there, but we don't practice there anymore because, owner doesn't want the, people with their, germs spreading around everywhere. So.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Got to be safe nowadays.
Yeah, it probably costs an amazing amount of money to disinfect all that, because also there's a lot of people like to drink. Like a few times I went to like a studio just to jam, like everyone's bringing just crazy amounts of alcohol. I'm like, yo, yeah. And when you're drunk, you don't care about COVID. Like, let's be honest. Every shot, you stop thinking about a pandemic. It's kind
That's why people take the shots.
Yeah. Like, it's dangerous, dude. That close drunk talk. How's it going, bro? Just a heavy. He's like, yeah. Oh my God.
But Rob, the latest episode was about you, right? Oh, Roberto, actually, right? Yeah.
I haven't even seen my episode yet.
Oh, okay. That one's coming out soon?
His is gonna be the last one.
Oh, okay, cool. And then Ben, I think you started off the first episode too.
The first one. That's Roberto. Morgan's is up next. Then we're gonna do Nick's and then Rob's, and then we release the single week after that.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. And you said in your update you're gonna have 2 songs, but they're super separate. So you're gonna wait till next year to release that song, or like the very end of the year?
Probably the end of the year, I think. Rob, what do you think about that?
Probably, hopefully. I definitely don't want to wait all the way until next year. Ben was saying it might be a nice way to end off this year because it's kind of a lighter song, give some people some happy vibes to end off with.
And with hope.
Even though it is totally not a happy song, it's a straight up sad boy jam. But like at the same time, we want to say like, hey, this year has been absolutely fucked. So let's celebrate it almost being over with this sad boy jam, I guess.
Yeah. And then you say the one thing, it can't get any worse. And then 2021 starts and Godzilla comes from the sea. Takes over New York.
I hope not. I really hope not.
What's that meme going around? Someone said, hey, can't get any worse. It's like Thanksgiving. There's like a mutant turkey the size of like a skyscraper. It's like, fuck. It's like, no, the turkeys are here to eat us.
That fucking Bihar movie with the turkey, like gobble, gobble, mother.
I think it's called.
That's awesome, dude. Those are the best. I kind of miss sci-fi back in the day where it's just like you put it on Friday. It's just like any kind of giant animal, a gigantic mouse attacks, a Komodo dragon, a fucking elephant. It's like awesome. Just bring it all to me.
Like thousands of giant spider movies, you know.
Oh yeah, so many. Dude, it's legend. And did you guys have any problems recording this, or was it pretty smooth sailing the whole time?
This was one of the smoother times we recorded. Yeah, I mean, we like the only differences from regular recording is we wore masks the whole time. And then when I did vocals, I was in a separate room, so no mask. But no, it was pretty smooth. It was the shortest recording we've done in a long time since it was just the 2 songs. And it was our first time working with Anthony at Westfall. I don't know if you know the people who work there, but he runs the place, I believe, him and Ray. And Ray also worked on it. He mixed it and did a lot of work on the drums day one. So, yeah, Ray's the drummer from Moontooth. So
shout out.
Yeah, they're the 2 people who worked on this with us, and yeah, it definitely went smoothly. They had a lot of great ideas, and I think worked very well together.
And we just got the mixing of the first song back.
I just listened to it before getting on here, and it's so good.
It is the best production we've ever had as a band ever. In fact, I think after this podcast, Rob and I are going to be uploading to DistroKid today.
Awesome.
So,
That's pretty awesome. So what kind of production do you like? Were you guys trying to go for like a more like raw sound, but like kind of refined, or kind of like
honestly just big and as professional as possible? You know, because like every single recording we've done has outdone the production wise, has outdone the previous one.
Always improving. I get you.
And this definitely continues with this one. So this definitely sets the standard for what we want to sound like in terms of like production, like sound wise, like genre wise. You know, that's the whole 2021 thing. But
yeah. Well, I feel like I mean, you guys could probably disagree. It's very subjective or anything, but I feel like Periphery is like that production value that was like really, really professional, really, really well done. I mean, some people don't like that sound, but I feel like that's like top notch production right there. But then you could also have like other bands that have kind of like a raw feel, like, you know, High and Fire, but still well done production. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think High and Fire is like one of those Motorhead-esque bands, so like that's the target demographic they're going for, and those guys like that raw sound anyway. So I mean, like we couldn't pull. I don't know if we could pull off with like that raw production because like we're not High on Fire or Motorhead. So like, you know,
yeah, right.
We need like a big production, like really professional production to get people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome too. Yeah, well, that's great to hear. Did it go as smoothly because of the help that you had, or did you just have it down pat before you even got in the studio?
Well, I heard the Johnny Booth album, another shout out that Anthony and Ray worked on, and I was like, this production is superb. It's amazing. Like we need to get these guys to work on it.
Yeah, those guys are fucking gangsters, dude. Jeez.
Johnny Booth, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that was McKenna told me you guys actually played a show with them back in the day.
That's
back in the day. We didn't know until recently, I think.
Yeah, like I was just going through like old school posters of the shows we used to play, and the band name that we wore will not be said because it was so embarrassing. But and this was 2011, and I just looked at it recently, and Johnny Booth was on it. I'm like, holy shit, we played a show with Johnny Booth like a decade ago, and we didn't even know it.
That's pretty cool. That's like imagine like just looking through and like you like, I played with this famous band. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that's so cool. But I remember I think oh man, who was it? It was Johnny Booth and I think Bluetooth maybe. I just remember going to that show and it was all just awesome Long Island bands. I'm like, what's with Long Island just pumping out like quality bands right there?
What was it, Rob?
I think Crypto Deer was the other band. It was Johnny Booth, Moontooth, and Crypto Deer. They're like three really
And
really,
Husbandry and another band too. I was like,
all really cool Long Island bands.
oh yeah. It was pretty gangster. Like I didn't hear about most. I knew Johnny Booth just because my brother saw Pain and Exile way back in the day when they released their EP, and Johnny Booth opened. He said like, yeah, this fucking guy came out of nowhere, just dreads and just losing his damn mind. I was like, dude, that guy's awesome, bro.
I looked up all the other bands on that flyer, and none of them are active. So it's just Johnny Booth and us. But obviously the name under that is not active anymore. So. But the point is, it feels good to still be going strong with Johnny Booth, after all these years.
What's the move? It's just like working hard, and also you're getting better too. That's what, that's an awesome. It would suck if you're like, dude, this is the worst recording we ever did. It'd be like, oh, that's not good. Like, Jesus Christ.
I think my personal two favorite songs we've ever done. Like, I don't usually listen to Us, just because I know it already. But I've just been listening to these songs ever since we got the demos back. I've just been, even when we made the demos, just these crappy little things we had on our phones. I was just listening to just the guitars by themselves because I was like, I love these songs.
Dude, that's awesome. That's also like, dude, I hate hearing myself, and that's how I know it's good when I'm like actually willing. I'm like, I'll listen to it. I like this is that. Especially as a singer, you must hate you're like I get it. Like, it's just tough. Like, I know people say it's like, well, you gotta listen to your own shit if you expect people to like it. It's like, dude, like with this podcast, like I don't want to hear my shit voice, dude. Like, I was like, I think it's funny. I think you should listen to the conversation, but it's like I don't want to hear myself.
It was like the Used. They're like, I think back in the day they asked him. I think it was when In Love and Death came out or something. They asked Bert, the front man, they're like, hey, what album have you been listening to lately? He's like, Ours. Like, he said it in like obviously Ours. He's like, our shit is dope. I mean, he didn't say that exactly, but he said along the lines of that. And I remember laughing so hard. I'm like, what an egotistical fuck. And I realized, I'm like, well, if you like what you do and you like the product you're putting out, you're proud of it,
I mean, in theory, you should be making music that you want to hear, right? So,
yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's also good because that means you enjoy where you're going, like as a vocalist too. Because it'd be like, and then you can hear it. Because that's also how you learn too. Like when people say it's like, yeah, that's how you like nothing. Well, as a drummer, Ben, have you ever like record like everyone who recorded actually any musician, but I got this electronic kit, so I've been recording myself, and I never knew, bro. Especially the MIDI notes, you could see it like on the track, and I was just like, oh my god, I crushed that recording. I listened back, like, holy shit. I was like, dude, that did not sound when I was here. And I was like, that's so out of time. I was like, what the fuck happened?
I'm definitely proud of the drumming I did on the EP, Gaslight. And I'm proud of these two songs too. But you got to understand, like, when I recorded these two songs in the studio, this was my first time behind a kit since fucking March. Like, wow. I swear to God, like, I went all that. Now, I did go to Sam Ash once or twice to, like, hit on the electric kits just to play the songs a little bit. I don't want to not play these songs once before I record, but like that was like only once or twice, maybe even 3 times the most. So but I still got it, I still went in there and killed it. So I don't even need practice. I'm just that good.
I'm a fucking savant, dog.
Do you have like a practice space or anything in your house?
No, I don't actually. Because I mean, Westfall was our practice space, and we like don't have. I mean, we're on the lookout for one right now, but as of right now, we don't have one. And I've never owned an electric kit in my life. I would love one, but I've just never gotten around to getting one or buying one.
I know that was Jesse's
like
problem.
$5,000, so we're gonna
well, yeah, one move is like, if you're willing to deal with like the shitty quality, like I got a really cheap one, but what I did is I hooked it up to my computer. I got like one of those sample packs, like Get Good Drums Easy Drummer, and you can just trigger it to get actual. Yeah, sponsor me, please. For no reason.
Free ads
in my house.
They are those plastic ones, like the whole setup like that.
Oh yeah,
I could potentially get one of those, but
yeah, like they're not the greatest. Like sadly, I don't have choking cymbals, so like you just give up on those. It's like, yeah, that's where I would choke it. You don't have to do it, but it's just like, but it sounds really good for like, 'cause you can control the whole thing. And I was like, it's a pretty cheap setup when you really think about it. It's like, I think it's like $50 for like a sample pack. It's like, oh, okay.
I got a what do you call it? A Rock Band drum set in my basement.
No.
I've never owned Rock Band either.
Oh, dude.
Rod, those drum sets were bad. Like, you can't fucking
pretty
you
bad.
can't do the rolls. Like like those like rubber.
Absolutely.
They
like,
break
they're not
easily. Yeah.
compatible with that. I remember when I was like 13, because I've been playing drums since I was 10. I was 13 at my friend's house trying to do it. I'm like, this is fucking horse shit. Like,
Oh,
I
dude.
can't fucking I can't like improvise on this.
I almost shit my pants when I had to play a blast beat on Rock Band. I was like, there's no rebound, so you're just like, yeah, like you're just like, let's go. I was like, holy hell. Yeah, those drum sets suck, dude. Like when Guitar Hero came out, they had all
We
those
broke
famous
so
drummers.
many.
They had like, dude, Travis Barker, Stuart Copeland. They could play it, and they don't even fucking break it. I broke it literally the day I got it. I was like, this is so much fun. And then the next day it was double hitting. I was like,
Well, you are a fucking hard hitter though. Like, you go to town on your drum set.
because
Whenever we
I had
jam.
to show off. I had to like go up here, come down, lick the drumstick. I saw someone do that, dude. I did it at home for no reason. I forgot that your drumstick gets shredded as you hit cymbals. I just licked sawdust. But I was like, eh. I was like, oh my god.
So fun fact, there is actually still a video on YouTube to this day of when I was 13 years old and my middle school friends at the time of us playing Afterlife by Avenged Sevenfold on Rock Band. It's
there
still
you
on
go.
YouTube to this day.
That's awesome.
I'm wearing a Bullet for My Valentine shirt, so that should definitely date it.
That's with the time right there.
Tears don't fall.
Dude,
Scream.
that was my fucking jam, dude.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that song, I still say though, I never really listened to a lot of Bullet for My Valentine. I just like know the singles, but I will say, Scream and Fire comes on, don't get near me, bro. I don't care if I'm at a wedding
Screaming.
reception. I'm like, there it is. I got work to do.
I saw them once. They played after another band I wanted to see, and you know how people will be like, "Are you ready for this band? Are you ready for this band?" And they'll like hype up the crowd.
Yeah.
Every single band was just like, "Are you ready for Scream and Fire?" And then even they come out and they're just like, when they finally are gonna play, it's just like, "All right, this is what you've been waiting for."
Oh, that's
It like
fucking
take
cool.
forever to like finally play the last song. He kept saying, "This is the last song. No, this is the last song. No, actually, this is the last song."
Yeah.
Dude. Well, that's like the
Yeah,
move. though.
Foo
If you got-
Fighters did that, dude. They played like 5 or 6 song encore. I remember they're like, "You want another one? You want another one? All right, we'll give you another one. You want another one?" I was like, "Holy shit!"
Especially
I
when
mean, they did play for 2.5 hours.
Especially when you're the person in the crowd that doesn't really like that band that much. Like, you just want to go home.
you're the only
My
person.
friends dragged me here.
You know when they boo when they're like, this is our last song. Boo. Play another. You're the one guy going, all right, I want dinner.
That,
I want to go.
that was like me for honestly when I back when I was a fan of Mice and Men. There's Of Mice and Men and August Burns Red. I used to love Of Mice and Men, but I never really liked August Burns Red. No, like I'm sure like if you like them, that's cool. But like at the Paramount, but I only went for Of Mice and Men. So when August Burns Red was on stage, it was like 2 hours, and it was just me being miserable.
Yeah, that's a rough one, dude. I've been to a lot of concerts for opener, mid tier, and like sometimes it's not even like sometimes you even dislike the band, but when you like see the band you're there to see, you do get like an adrenaline dump. You're like, this is what we're here for. And then you're like, I'm fucking tired, dude. I really put it all into that band. Now it's like I kind of feel bad. You're not even giving them a fair shot now. You're like, I'm tired. I want to go home.
It does hurt. I don't know if it hurts to say, but concerts definitely, for me anyway, definitely not for McKenna. He's a fucking machine with concerts. But like for me, concerts kind of like lost their magic a while ago because like I remember when I saw Slipknot last summer at Jones Beach. And I still went crazy because Slipknot's my favorite band, but I'll never forget the very first time I saw them when I was 13.
Yeah,
and
you can't change that.
Just the physical difference in my body of just seeing them when I was 13. I was in the seats for both of them, just like head banging, like just like crazy, just drenched in sweat. And by the time I'm like, and then last summer I was 24 last summer. Yeah, like I said, like it was just a huge difference between the first time I saw Slipknot from last summer, a physical difference in my body.
Without a doubt.
So last summer, I'm like, dude, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm 26. I think we saw fucking Hatebreed when it came around with Obituary like fucking a year and a half ago. I wore my boots and I was just standing on the side with like the dads, the fucking old 50-year-old guys. My back was screaming. I was like sitting there. It's like, I love this. I need to go home. Daddy needs to sit down. It's like, I'm 26.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking asshole. I was like sitting there. I was like, dude, I can't believe I used to just jump. I remember I used to jump. I used like the jumping guy. I would jump for fucking like in 2 hours straight.
Yeah,
And like I'd get shin splints. That's how much I jumped. And now I'm like standing. I'm like, dude, let's get a Tito's and let's sit. Like Jesus Christ, I gotta.
We were
Well,
talking just about like waiting for shows too, like when you used to show up so early. And there was like the one time I went to Heavy Montreal, my friends, and Slipknot was headlining that year. And they all went to go watch like other bands. And I was like, nah, Slipknot is going to play this stage. So I'm going to camp out here. They're like, dude, that's in like 3 hours. And I was like, I don't really care about the other bands. And like what they did, they had two main stage, right? So like Slipknot was going to play on this one. They would alternate, right? Go back and forth. So like Lamb of God would play there, Bull from My Valentine play there, you know, back and forth. So I'm like, well, I could see them all the way over there. So I'm just camping out on the rail the whole time. And I would never do that again, to be honest. I mean, it was great seeing Slipknot on the rail at Heavy Montreal. Probably one of my favorite times seeing them, but I don't think I can sit there on the rail again for another 3 hours. That was brutal. I can't believe I did that. I was just looking back at that. It's crazy.
I think I'm gonna start doing CrossFit for fucking concerts. I don't know. Just like get
Yeah,
back in
right?
shape. Get back. What are you doing this for? Like, you get married? You going like a part? You just want help? Nah, I want to go back to concerts. Like, I want to enjoy concerts again.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, has being away from it for so long like made me miss it? Maybe. But here's the thing: most of the bands I truly love I've already seen live. So, and there's plenty of bands that like for the same, like, you know, one of my favorite bands is Deicide. And there was a huge contrast between the first time I saw Deicide between the second time I saw him. You know, like first time I saw him, I was 16. You know, I fucking hated religion. Like, you know, like, just for the sake of being edgy. You know, Rob can tell you all about that. So like I was just 16 years old. I had my fucking upside down cross necklace and just like I was just screaming my fucking head off first time I saw him. The second time I saw him was at Revolution, rest in peace. And I still love Deicide. Their last album was amazing, but that second time I was just standing there and I just did not feel that energy. I mean, they still killed it, but I just did not feel that energy I felt like 3 or 4 years prior to that. So it's just like,
Yeah, that definitely happens.
Yeah,
So
nostalgia is a huge
concerts just
factor.
aren't really the same for me anymore. You know,
Yeah.
you can't force it. You know, if you can't force what used to happen. You know.
Yeah. Well, I also like just saying what someone you said when you said you hate religion. I just like to imagine a young Ben in like the parking lot burning prayer cards. Yes, fuck prayers. Fuck angels.
That's not me anymore at all. I mean, like, I'm still not religious, but like our bassist is very religious, and I have zero problems with it at all. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm definitely not that person anymore.
What about you, Rob? Do you like miss going to shows? You're kind of like Ben on it.
I don't like going out, but the only shows I go to are ones that are like I'm constantly finding different stuff I like. So exactly like Ben said, I'm not gonna go see a band I've seen 7 times, but I'll see like somebody I've never seen before, and I still get some really great feelings. And I don't know. Yeah, just by switching up, like I listen to very different music than I used to listen to, so I just go to different shows than I used to go to. So I still always have a good time, and I still always find a way to get in that mentality of just that in the moment. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but just that concert vibe.
I agree 1,000%, dude. I'm too in my head, dude. That's when I figured out getting drunk. Like, I was like, oh, man, I don't like that, dude. Because, like, I'm usually like, well, I got to go do that tomorrow. And it's, like, in the middle of, like, my favorite band. I'm like, why am I thinking about that? Like, you goofball. Like, you paid, like, $40 to be here. That's what you do.
What I used to do is drink. I don't drink anymore. And I used to just get drunk every show I went to. And I was like, that'll make me have a crazy time. But then it's like I leave and don't remember half of it. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what it's good for moshing. You really don't give a fuck.
The first show I ever went to when I was 13, I went to see My Chemical Romance at
There you go.
Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
And
that's kind of cool. Fuck.
I think it was after the first band. It was some like nobody ever heard of. I mean, no disrespect, obviously, playing the coolest fucking show, you know, ever at that time. But I just mean like somebody nobody knew. And then it was like after that first set, I saw a dude walking away, vomiting into a plastic bag. And I was like, I'm never gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna enjoy every show I ever go to.
Tables turned tables.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, well, it's kind of. Oh, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, I just went from saying I'm never gonna do that to then being the guy on the stage throwing up.
All right, so I'm gonna break into a nice little news topic right here. I think it's kind of like an interesting, subject, and it has Code Orange in it. So,
Ooh, yeah.
Code Orange says the metal scene needs to be more forward-thinking if it's to compete with other genres. I thought this was pretty cool. Reba Myers actually was speaking to Metal Hammer about this, and this is her quote. She's like, I love metal, but there needs to be more forward-thinking. It's expected to be the most forward-thinking genre, but right now, I think it's falling behind some other genres. You look at metal festivals lineup, and the headliners all just bands from the 90s. You look at festivals like Coachella, the headliners are modern acts. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, that's only part of the quote. I'm not going to read the whole thing because no one's here quotes all day. But what do you guys think about that? I mean, Rob, like I'll ask you first. Like, what do you think about this? Do you think metal needs to be more forward thinking?
Yeah, I'm fine with the forward thinking angle. I do kind of disagree with the it's like bands from, like, yeah, festivals are headlined with bands from, you know, whatever decade. Metal is literally a smaller genre right now, so bands aren't going to get as big. I feel like Code Orange is pretty forward thinking, but they're never going to be as big as Metallica unless something fundamentally changes in people who are listening to music, because it's just gone from rock being the biggest genre to like rap being the biggest genre, and that's fine to me. But I do think that people should be more, I've always thought that people need to be more like maybe forward thinking in the sense of like what they're creating, what their like their originality and stuff, because it feels like it's so much more based off a scene. Like you want to, like, here's these bands in the scene, and like some people or some kids or some whatever, us as kids growing up trying to be bands, would try to fit into these molds and fit into these things, when it's just like it's such an odd way to think about stuff. So I think in that sense, yeah, forward people need to be more forward thinking, but it's not like the metal music that comes out right now disappoints me. Like I like it a lot. I feel like there's still bands doing great stuff. It's just they're not as famous, which is fine to me.
Yeah. Well, I've heard someone explain something similar, and the reason some people say that is like the thought that the reason a lot of bands, like 20-plus-year-old bands who are only headlining, it's always like you can guess when a festival announces it. You could always guess like who's probably going to headline it,
Like
which
really
is cool. But
2020.
like I remember Mayhem Fest, it was like 3 Mayhem Fests. It was like they already started repeating headlines. They're like, well, it's like we're already kind of ran through all of them, because all the other really big metal bands, they just would never do that like kind of festival. Like
They can make more money on their own.
But like what I was hearing was like because of that, it leaves little room for bands to move up the next thing. And then also gatekeepers and genres. Like when a newer band comes out, they're just like, fuck this band. Like, you know, and then like 10 years later, they're really big. Like out of nowhere. It's like, it always takes like rap newer. If you come out with a hot mixtape or a fucking hot like single, like you're big. Like it's in the clubs, it's over. Like people are going to listen to it in their car. It's like some metal genre, like subgenres. Like if you come out there, you got to impress me. The impress me bros, the guys with their arms crossed at the shows, like, you got to do something for me. It's like, and I agree a little bit with that, but I also agree with you. Yeah. Like people got to like stop copying Architects with the bleh. Like, you know, just like Doomsday came out, you know, leave
Did
them
they
alone.
start it though? Did Architects start that?
I don't know. Everyone keeps saying that. That guy, he's like, all right, I won't do bleh again. Leave me alone.
See, I feel like I've heard it before that, but I feel like it's the same thing with like Gojira. They made it popular, you know what I mean? Like Gojira
he did it the best, I guess, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, right now I listened to the Seventh Circle from the new album from Architects, and I immediately thought of the bleh that starts it. It's immediately. But Ben, what's your thoughts?
She says forward thing. Like, what does she mean by that? Does she mean like metal bands need to be more like progressive thinking, or like
in the marketing? I think it is, and also thinking about the future genre. Like I said, like she's probably talking about like the gatekeepers and people like kind of guarding the top, where it's like a lot of older fans. Like again, they're impress me people. Like they're like, if it's from my decade, it's what I care about. I don't care about the newer people.
I can read the second part of what she was saying.
I do feel like the only true way that a metal band can break out into a mainstream audience is to change their sound. Like, let's look at like Metallica. Like, if they had stuck with the Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning sound, like it was the Black Album that broke them out into like the huge mainstream sound that they are. If they didn't have that, they'd still be big, but I don't know if they'd be the ginormous band they are. And Slipknot, Volume 3, I think it was the band that, because like Volume 3 was, I mean, that's my favorite album by them, but that's definitely more of a quote unquote mainstream, you know, appeal album.
Duality, Vermilion.
I was exactly. So, and Code Orange, this last album, definitely, and Underneath was a fucking masterpiece. I loved it. But that was more catering to a more wider audience. So like, yeah, definitely if you want to, if metal bands want to break out and start getting bigger and bigger, I feel like not selling out, but like definitely changing their sound a little bit and maybe conforming just a little bit to open up to a wider audience. I think that is the key, you know, because it's proven that it works from all the huge metal bands. They've done that eventually, you know?
Yeah, well, I also will think too with like a lot of those bands, like Metallica did. Well, I thought they broke out with Saint Anger, but well, we could disagree. But no, just piss everyone off. Just boo, fuck that guy. No, I'm kidding. But like with all them, it's like all those bands have like the full package too. I feel like some bands don't think about everything. I think that's also maybe like a thought process. Like Code Orange clearly thinks about every little detail. Whoever in the band is doing that, if they got a manager,
It's kind of all of them, to be honest.
yeah,
Jamie, I would say.
yeah. They think about their like everything is pretty calculated to like how their Twitter is, who they hook up with, like how they like present themselves.
Fucking Twitter.
Whatever, good guy Chris hair. Look at that fucking perfect. Look at that perfect hairline. Look at that guy. No, it's like, and it's like with Slipknot too. It's like even when they were poor, like their live show is nuts. Like they did everything they could, like pyro and like small clubs. And it's like, I think it is fundamentally changing their sound, but it's also being the big picture. Like with the band, I feel like a lot of bands, like you guys thought about doing these like studio updates when some people are sitting at home wagging their fucking tails until shows come back. They're like, well, I guess I'm not a band anymore until shows come back. It's like, fuck it.
They're just like throwing their hands up and like making excuses. And like,
yeah,
I was not about to let that happen at all.
Yeah.
Well, here's the second part of what she was saying. Maybe this would add something to it. She said the festival runners who maybe say, oh, they don't have a following enough. It's just not up to them. It's up to the entire industry. Whenever you push these bands as small, they're going to be looked at as small. A lot of it is up to perception. So I get that too. If the promoters aren't willing to like put bands on there that they think have potential or something like that, they're going to be regarded as like, nah.
Of course. And Code Orange were going to tour with Slipknot this summer.
Yeah, that was a weird tour, to be honest.
Honestly, I know with the Day to Remember Under Oath, that was weird. But like,
yeah.
Because last year it had Behemoth and
that was so fucking good.
Vera.
Yes.
And next year it'll have Behemoth and A Day to Remember. Nurgle will come out and do guest vocals on Day to Remember songs and stuff like that.
And 2023, it's going to have Infant Annihilator headlining. It's going to go down the rabbit hole with ASAP Rocky. It's just going to go crazy. No, I pissed off about that show. Just a side note. Code Orange was skipping Madison Square Garden for some reason. I never knew why. They didn't have any shows planned. I was just confused. Like, why?
That's why I didn't want to go to that one because, like, even though Slipknot's my favorite band, I've still never seen Code Orange yet, and they've become one of in my top 10 favorite bands of all time. But if I don't see Code Orange, it's not the end of the world because like concerts are not my main priority right now. Like it's not I will always be a Code Orange fan, but if I don't see them live, it's not going to kill me inside.
Yeah, it's interesting about that. Well, what do you guys think about what she said with the promoters not picking up smaller bands and pushing them as bigger bands?
Yeah, those. I mean, like. I feel like when smaller bands are on those bigger tours, that makes people say, oh, like they were like good enough to get a slot on this tour. That means that they must be worth something. That means I'm going to check them out. And that would definitely, because like bands are only like fans only discover bands like, trying to think the best way to phrase this. I feel like I'm going on like, you get what I'm saying? Like, when people see a smaller band on a huge tour like that, they think if this band was, even though this band's not very known, if they were good enough to land this slot, that must mean something. So I'm going to check them out. And that's how they build a fan base. So yeah, definitely the promoters do play a role.
Also goes with the bands as well. Like when Slipknot brings out like, I don't know, whoever it may be, or like, actually I think a better one too is when, Iron Maiden started taking out Ghost, I mean, already Ghost was doing well, but that like also helps. Like Iron Maiden actually tries to take out a lot of bands whenever they could. They're kind of like that.
All right, Rob, you want to say something?
Yeah, I would say that the thing with the promoters is just that like promoters are out here running a business and we're out here making art, and it's just two fundamentally different things. No disrespect, because obviously it's beneficial. It's supposed to be a mutually beneficial experience, right? Because like they're supposed to make money off of us and we're supposed to make money at their shows. So all good, right? But then most opportunities that small bands have are bands that get put into small if they want to try, getting bigger things is on a small level is like selling tickets to play this show, to open up for this band. Or if you're talking about a tour, straight up, we've been told stuff like, oh, you want to tour with that band? It's $10,000. Oh, you want to tour with that band? It's $5,000. So it's like, and that's not even a promoter. That could be the band. That could be like the band trying to make money. And I don't necessarily disrespect bands trying to make money either, but it's like money is straight up a gatekeeper in the metal community where it should not be. It's supposed to be just,
I think that also goes back to like who you know.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that's what that's what they mean by when they say take a chance. Like sometimes you do just got to put a band there, and it's like if it fails, it's like, well, that sucks. But it's like, think of the story. It was like Jamie Johnston when he gave his the Hatebreed EP, like a album to Monkey outside Korn's tour bus, like when they blew up, and then like the next year, Korn was like, "Fuck it, we'll take Hatebreed out." These are back when these bands weren't that big, and Korn just exploded, and Hatebreed fucking grew from just a hardcore band from like Connecticut to like that started them on to where they became now. It's like
And
just
now they're lifting.
Cool.
I know, but I feel like at the same time that was the 90s. You know,
Yeah,
so much.
it's a different thing too.
I feel like because like that happens so much where like the local bands are giving their demos and their EPs to the bands there, thinking something's going to come out of it. I don't think that works anymore.
Well, now it's all about your Spotify streams too. Like I heard bands like Josta talks about it on his show. Sometimes, you know, they're like, "Oh, how many streams you got? How many followers you got?" You know, like, and then you won't make the tour because like you're not streaming enough.
Yeah, that's another reason why we wanted to. That's another reason we wanted to write these and get these new songs out because we definitely need to jump in our Spotify streams. So that's like definitely trying to breathe new life into that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's literally all just chance and just like, well, it's like what everyone says. It's like you work hard to put yourself in the way of chance, basically. Like, is the harder you work, you get more chances. And basically, you just hope that a fucking person's like, fuck it. Let's just put Detachment there and see what happens. And then you just get in front of a couple hundred people that never even heard your name before. And that's like, it's kind of weird, actually, how majority of like those stories go. It's like, I don't know what Slipknot's start was. Like, they were just the mass crazy live show band, and that's what got their name out. And then people like, oh, they actually make good songs too. It's like, what the fuck? And it's like,
well, I mean,
like,
the record company saw their show, I heard, and they were like, we're gonna push this shit. Like, people are gonna love this because again, there was kind of like a gimmick back in the day. 9 people on the stage with masks and jumpsuits. Are like, oh, the people are gonna eat this up there. So I think because back then they were also considered like, you know, edgy to listen to.
I still love Slipknot to this day, no matter
oh
what.
yeah. Yeah, it's also it was the band you got made fun of in high school. Oh, you like the metal? It's like a bunch of assholes in masks. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Never
People
get to,
forget Mushroomhead came out before Slipknot too, so like Slipknot was ripping off Mushroomhead. I love Mushroomhead too, by the way. But
I love the whole drama about that too, because like Mushroom was like, you came out first, and Slipknot was like, we had no idea about them. And I know now they squashed it all and they said it really doesn't matter. But I heard
Slipknot just made better music, plain and simple. You know, like their difference in career.
Yeah.
Both bands, but obviously like Slipknot's music just hits harder.
They were also saying that the record label Roadrunner actually had the deal out for Mushroomhead, and Mushroomhead was like, well, we got to like look this over and consider it or whatever. And then they were like, all right, fuck you. And they just went to Slipknot and they took it. I don't know if that was true or not. I remember reading that back in the day. That was funny though.
Yeah. I think the ex-vocalist Mushroomhead did confirm that was true.
Yeah,
but he said like he said he read it over and they're like, you know, we'd be making more money. We make more money at our local shows than what they're offering right now. So we'd be losing money if we signed this deal. But I don't know.
Yeah. That's also like, if you're good enough and you're good enough with your money, you don't have to be the biggest band in the world to make money. Like Psycho Stick, like look at them. They literally followed Mayhem around and played in the parking lot. Like one year, they were just
people
like,
hated that.
They were allowed to do that.
I guess so. Like, all right, they did it.
Well, I heard they kept entering battle of the bands from whatever town or city they were from or state, and they kept winning. And people were like, that's not fair. They're actually
definitely not fair.
they're kind of like legit, you know. And I remember that was with Mayhem too. So because remember they had the battle of bands winner from every show in that state or whatever play.
I remember playing those, and like you said, the same bands always won.
Yeah.
What
was that band called?
I don't want to talk shit about actual.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna name names, but yeah, like they were. It's almost like they were rigged, you know, like from the get go. Like, all right, this band's gonna win. And you know what pissed me off about that was because our manager we had at the time was like dangling like us potentially winning in front of our faces. Like he was like kind of giving us hints that we had already won. Yes. And we were so excited, and like I was so fucking cocky about it. I'm like, oh, we already won. Like, yeah, we got to play the show, but we're so good, you know. And then like I'll never forget like waiting for him to announce our name, and he doesn't announce our name, and I'm like, that didn't just happen. So you know, it served me right for being a little cocky asshole. But like, it's just there's so much bullshit that goes down with those contests. Like,
yeah, it's like another learning like stone, you know, another learning opportunity.
Totally. Well, imagine like you're a serious band and just a band singing about girl directions and beer just decimates you. You're like, fuck.
I think that was before that too. I think that was like
beer was out.
No, girl directions.
Oh, whatever. Beer enough. Beer is good. Fuck.
Well, beer is what put them on the map. That YouTube video or wherever they posted that video for beer.
Well, also, fuck ballad bands just in general, because it's like, how many bands, you know, I don't know, like.
How many bands have actually made it from battle being a battle of the bands?
Yeah. And also just like, it shouldn't be the way. It should just be like a group of people in a show. It's like, oh, but yeah, our fans are like, yo, they come, but leave like right after we're done. Just like, It's just like, come in right before we play, leave after we're done. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, which is fair, I guess, because it's like your fans, but it's like, fuck you. He's just like,
honestly, pay to play in general is just
not great.
A horribly corrupt system that no band makes it from, because you just get your same 7 to 10 friends to come every time. They just watch you, and then the second you're done playing, they go outside. And the same exact thing will happen to the next pay to play show. You bring those same exact group of people, maybe 1 or 2 more, maybe 1 or 2 less, but you don't play in front of a huge crowds, and it just gets nobody anywhere. It's just
you're playing for bands.
It just is. That's not how to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
we learned that a long time ago.
It's like from the Killswitch DVD. I forgot. It was like a video from when they first started. And Jesse's like, hey, if you want to go get merch, it'll help us get to the next state. And you just hear some guy in the crowd. There's no one here. It's just all the bands in the crowd. It's like, there's nobody here.
Dude, yeah. Well, one show I went to, I can't remember the name, but it was for the Hath, actually. I went to their show at, oh my God, what's that place called? The Meat Locker in Montclair. And after a while, all the people there were just the other bands that were playing. It was really funny. And I remember, like, a lot of people, like I don't know which bands it were, but they were like, we're not playing this fucking venue again. I was like, all right. Are you guys aware of the Meat Locker, by the way?
Yeah, you told us about it. We've never been there. We've never played.
It's a great venue. That guy was just salty.
Definitely like
that guy was
honestly, I feel like social media and iPhones and all that, that's kind of what killed local bands, like, you know, breaking out of being local bands, like because, you know, before kids had phones and computers, like they would go to local shows, and like that's how bands would like build a following. And I feel like the only way for like bands to truly make it and gain a following is from the internet, or, you know, having someone professional take them on. But like starting from scratch and like being a local band and making it on your own just as a local band, it's definitely not what it used to be.
I think a Bandcamp and a good PR company has been pretty beneficial for some bands. You know, like at least PR companies have, you know, they introduced me to some awesome bands like Valence. Like I got to talk to them because of that PR. Source, another band, you know. Shout out to
at Westfall too, right?
Yeah. Valence is freaking awesome. Another kind of Long Island band. Just keep pumping out. So good. The Bandcamp has been very important too.
We got a lot of sad, angry people here.
Get mad. Well, that's it. Actually, I really want to ask. This is kind of way off topic, but I listened to you know, your guys' EP, and I will want to ask Rob. Well, probably the whole band. It's probably not a long jump to ask. Are you like a big Glassjaw fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could hear it in your voice. I was like, this guy likes Glassjaw. I was like, definitely. I was like, look how happy he is. Yeah, dude, Glassjaw's dope.
Nobody ever says that. People get all of our other influences. Nobody ever gets that, because that is pretty much just me. And I would push all the time. I'm just like, I'd say to Nick, I'm like, you ever listen to Glassjaw?
Well, actually, that's a nice little segment we want to like segue into. We were talking about like influences. We had a lot of like top 3 stuff. So if you guys want to talk about like top 3 influences on your bands, like on this record, I should say, or a new song.
No, just in general, probably top 3 each of your top 3, because it seems like your guys are probably gonna be different, so it'd be pretty interesting.
Well, I know we talked about that on the last show.
Oh, really? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it again, like go for it.
I mean, if you
definitely for this new song, it's like completely and totally Every Time I Die. This new heavy song, it's a very much heavier version of
it's like if you just took the heavy parts of Every Time I Die. It's all chaotic and gross and weird and cool.
Awesome.
It's one of our heaviest songs.
Ready.
It's nice. I like it a lot.
Bring it on.
It's also not heavy in the same way that the EP was heavier. Like definitely like songs like Choke and Counter Charisma were heavy, but they were more metal oriented heavy. This song it's heavy and it's definitely metal. Like metalheads are definitely gonna love it, but it's not heavy and metal in the same way that the EP was. Like I don't know if I would like Every Time I Die is like a heavy melodic punk band, but sometimes I'm hesitant to say that they're a straight up metal band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always just throw everyone under the metalcore thing, because it's just metal and hardcore combined. It's just different calculations.
Yeah.
So this song is just like melodic hardcore with the heavy turned up like way fucking high. But is it like a metal song? Like, I don't know. I've been a metalhead since I was 10 years old. So like, I obsess over stuff like this.
What is that? Well, I would say, because like the one thing I say about Every Time I Die, it's like they're heavy in the sense that like, you know, some bands like, especially like heavy metal band, like deathcore bands or death metal, it's like it's heavy because it's like tuned down, it's just heavy. But like Every Time I Die is super aggressive, and that's like what they make. I was like, they're not like down tuned. It's just like it's like the energy. It's like they plug it into their heart, and they just have all this aggressive energy funneling into that track. It's just like, holy shit, yeah. That or Bored Stiff. That song's not like. It is just in your fucking face. You're like, Jesus Christ. You're like, damn. And you mosh your titties off the second they play. Like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're kind of trying to go for with this song. The other song is very different, but this song that we're about to come out with, yeah, this is Every Time I Die a lot. What else?
I want to hear it.
We could definitely send it to you for sure after this.
Not Jesse, though. Fuck that guy. That would be awesome. If you guys just pick Chris, we trust.
I'm thinking of torturing Mike and saying like he can't listen to it until it actually comes out.
You want it? You can't have it.
You somehow block his IP on like Spotify or some bullshit. You get it the day after everyone gets to hear it.
I'm probably gonna end up showing him in one of our cars, but you know, since we're really
Oh, dude, I laughed so hard. Did you send me the meme, Jess, where it's someone's like you spent like all this time working on this great sound to be listened through like a phone speakers?
I've only listened to it so far through my phone speaker. I haven't heard it through headphones or
Dude, that I made me laugh. So actually, I remember Trivium was writing Shogun, and then I remember the drummer Travis was like, it sounds fine, and then he was like, yeah, on your fucking earbuds, but if you listen to it like on something else, it doesn't. And I remember they were arguing over the sound for it.
That's one of the things though, is when you're making it like yeah, you gotta like when you're in the studio, you're hearing it on the best speakers and you're hearing it in the perfect situation. You're like, this is a great mix. But yeah, if you take it to a phone speaker and it sounds bad, that's how people hear it.
It definitely passes the phone speaker test.
Dude, I did not know. I started listening to some like producer podcasts and I had no fucking idea. I'm just a caveman. I was like, yeah, it works, right? And then someone's like, dude, nothing's worse than when you mix with a headphone and you just go into your car. It just sounds like shit. It was like there's 18 hours of work just thrown down the thing.
They always say that. Never mix with headphones. I remember our teacher back in school was always like, if you guys are using headphones in the studio, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that's if you're doing like the surround, you know, and all that kind of sound.
See, I'm not much of a tech guy, so like I could never figure any of that shit out. Like all the fucking like knobs and buttons that they're doing, like this and that,
it freaks me out.
I don't know, man. Like I trust that they know what they're doing, and I totally respect that they know what they're doing. But me, like I just get in there, play my drums. That's all the fuck I do.
It's all about just acquiring the ear for it. Because I remember we actually had like half our class was just acquiring the ear to hear the certain frequency or the sound. Like why doesn't this sound like? Why is this sound different from this? Like I remember he was showing us, and it was like some people were like, I don't know, and then he would tell them the answer, like okay, like, and they still didn't realize it, you know. And it's like even for me that was so tough to do because like I've been listening to music for years. I'm like, I fucking know this shit, and then he would show me stuff. It was like, I don't know, it's different. Like I felt it was dumb too, you know.
So you paid to go to college, have a guy. Do you get it? I get it, but do you really get it? Oh, all right.
we made jokes because whenever you submit a project to him, right? Shout out to Professor Sanders. Whenever you submit a freaking project to him, you would always find something wrong with it, and he always critique and be like, "Oh, you hear this?" And then he would like raise the volume all the way up, and then you hear it, and then you're like, oh, fuck me. So we actually were gonna make shirts on the last day of school saying, if a tree fell in the woods, Sanders would hear it.
That's awesome.
And you always wore a pink or like salmon colored shirt, so we were gonna get in those colors. It just got too expensive, but we told him the idea, and he laughed so hard.
We're very non-committal. We didn't want to spend the money.
Dude, yeah, that was the most aggravating thing about just submitting anything, and he would fucking hear it. But
at least he had a reason. I heard a story about this actually it was Ross Robinson, the guy that took him on when he started learning how to produce.
Ross Robinson's a madman.
He's a gangster, dude. That guy's awesome.
And I don't care if I'm like one of 7 people in the world who love this album. I love the Suicide Silence album that he did.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. It was the last album, Mitch, I think. Right?
No.
Really? Oh, that was Machine.
It was this. Yeah. No, Machine did No Time to Bleed. Then it was Chris Evans who did Black Crown, and then
I'm just way the fuck off.
Then Mission. Then there was You Can't Stop Me, the first one with Eddie.
Oh, it's the experimental album.
The second one with Eddie was the self-titled Suicide Silence album with Ross Robinson. That nobody liked except for
yeah.
me.
I definitely no
Gotcha.
2.
Okay.
Me. I definitely did not hate it. I was just
Felt
like,
bad. The guy was like, I'm gonna sing like like I always want, and then people shit all over the way he sung. He's like, oh.
well, yeah, they messed up because they went like you just kind of, dude. The internet is like a really strong current, dude. Even if you're an Olympic swimmer, dude, you're getting swept away in that ocean. Like if you try, and they tried so hard to fight it, they put up a wall, they fucking sat there, everyone against it, holding the ocean back, and it's just like you can't fight against it, bro. If they say it sucks, you just gotta kind of hide away because dude, they kept fighting against it, and I was like, dude, this is what these. It's
like you said
are,
when
dude.
like someone
come out of
attacks the vocalist, it kind of like it's like attacking you personally.
Oh yeah, Rob, you could fucking agree.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm not a singer. Someone made fun of my singing. It hurt my feelings. I was like, that's me. And like, I never practiced singing a day in my life. I just fucking do it in the shower, in the car. But it's like, it's not your instrument. Like, you make fun of my drums. It's like, the drum could suck. I could tune it better. It's like, well, if my voice sucks, that's just kind of my body. Like, I feel just assaulting who I am.
The worst one I ever got was it was the only actual negative like comment I ever got because I'm not like an online guy. I don't see all that comments and all that. But I saw one person on our Facebook one time back in the day when we used to make lyric videos for an old band name. We put up a video and somebody insulted the lyrics, and that was the only one that actually got me. Because if you don't like my voice, whatever. I hate a bunch of singers I shouldn't. So I don't care if people like have a preference of style because I do. Some people like how I scream, like how this guy screams, whatever. We just have different preferences. But I work really hard on the words. And when somebody said something bad about that, I was like, damn. I work a lot harder because of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends. Depending on how you write lyrics, too, because some people just write, like Primus. They just write about bullshit sometimes. Like, literally, just, like, some songs like this. Yeah, literally, they just decide to write. It's not, like, some songs are probably meaningful, but some of them are just, like, I want to write about fudge with eyes. All right. And it's, like, and then some people, like, they literally pour their heart into it. So, depending on what kind of vocalist you are or lyric writer, just, like, do you just shit on my entire idea? Like, my identity? It's like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Oh, dude, fuck it. Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, the internet, man. You can't fight against it, dude. That's why I felt bad about Suicide Silence, because they got fucking – the second they came out, I think what Eddie said, he's like, I don't give a fuck what the fans think. I was like, oh, no.
Kind of like paying your bills, though, in a certain way. So.
Oh, yeah. It's bad, dude. And then every fucking, metal blog is like, yeah, they say fans don't matter. Fuck this guy. And I was like –
it's just
no.
Yeah.
I didn't really listen to that whole album, but I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like they just released the wrong single because the first thing you ever heard of him singing was not strong. Like he should have been a strong outward singing part, not a little squeaky falsetto bit.
Yeah.
People didn't get confident from that. This is Suicide Silence.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing they ever heard you sing wasn't like strong. I feel like if it was like that was like in the album, no one would have really cared. But because it was the only thing I've heard and the only thing anybody's ever heard, that's the opinion they have.
I think I agree 1,000. I think I actually said it to my brother because I was basically, he was the main guy I was arguing against. I was like, listen to this fucking single. Listen to this fucking. I was like, listen, because I think it was like the first or second song of that track is unreal. Like if I remember right, I remember being like, I listened, I was like, what the fuck? It's like this first song is awesome. Like I was like, I forgot which one it was, but yeah. Also, I think it's one of those things like, it's just.
It was too drastic of a change too fast.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it's like a Casey strain, dude. You listen to a Casey strain, you get a Casey strain. It's a little different, but you get exactly what you're paying for. And I feel like Suicide Silence was that band, and then they just, like you said, they just kind of threw a complete different album, and someone's like, "What the fuck?" Everyone took their gauges out, like just a different, it's like can't even listen.
You know what? Here's the thing: like, even though I still do like the album, it also, I admit, like, was not as good as I hoped it would be because, like, I saw like they had some studio updates, and when they announced that they were working with Ross Robinson, I'm like, wait, the guy who produced fucking Iowa, the guy who produced like the first Korn album, like with Suicide Silence, like this album is going to be heavy as fuck. This album is going to be fucking badass. So my expectations were pretty high, and they definitely did not meet them all the way. But also, I did kind of feel bad for him, like, in being a diehard fan. I'm like, you know what? Someone has got to stand up for these guys. It's got to be me.
I We'll stand on the
Poster.
hilltop versus the army.
I speak for Suicide Silence.
Yeah, well, that also kind of fucked them because they're a fan of all those. Like, if you're a long time Suicide Silence fan, all they talked about is like how big of a fan they were of like Slipknot, of Korn,
Yeah,
New
and like
metal.
Ross Robinson was their dream guy probably. It's like,
exactly, and have that dream just crushed. You know?
and that's also like a thing where Ross Robinson, like he's awesome, but I don't think he can handle like a deathcore sound because that's just not his jam. Because he's super experimental. It's like if you're gonna go in there like that, it's like it's just not the sound he's used to working with. Like he's always
Yeah.
like he is super out there, and when he gets the right band, it's like holy shit! Like what the
Watch
hell?
it completely wrong, and he's like, I fucking love deathcore.
Fuck that fat kid on that shit podcast. I'm gonna crush deathcore. Slaughter to prevail. Get over here. Let me see.
He's like in his 50s now. He's too old for that shit.
Yeah, no, he just fucking eats
Never
vegetables
too
and
old
walks
for
and
metal.
drinks tea. That guy's awesome though. God
Here's
damn.
the thing, there are ways to like incorporate like 90s new metal into, you know, like what my third favorite band in the world is Cane Hill. Like they're taking like the old new metal style and adding like a modern,
Yeah.
you know, twist on it, and they make it work. Suicide
Oh, yeah.
Silence, like they literally tried to like incorporate that sound from literally the 90s, you know, and like that's another way. It just like it didn't translate well into the 2017. So
Yeah.
they're trying to do a sound that was like 25 years old.
Yeah, and God forbid you get great band. I didn't mean to do that, but God forbid you get like Deftone fans on your ass. You sound anything like Chino or fucking even
God
some chords like
forbid.
it's like no fucking the Suicide
Oh.
Silence album. They're like, dude,
Well,
you just
no,
tried
you brought up the band. I was like, what are you talking
I
about?
know because I have ADHD. I love God forbid.
I
Bring
was
them
like,
back.
they don't sound
But
like
no,
Deftones at all.
yeah, God forbid, just a Deftones cover band. But yeah, you got God forbid you get Chino fans on. He's like, dude, you're just trying to be fucking Chino. It's like, it's like you're never escaping from this rock now. It's just like these kids will just hunt you down.
And you know what's the worst? And another bad thing is they learned their lesson because the last album they had, Become the Hunter, which came out this year, which I loved. I'm a direct Suicide Silence fan. Of course I would love it. But, you know, it's like, all right, if you want us being heavy, here's being heavy. And then fucking coronavirus hit and they haven't toured off of it. So, you know, like they haven't had a good streak in a while.
Technically, they have been touring. They've been doing the virtual tour.
Digitally.
I'm not interested in that. I mean, that's just,
Fuck virtual tours. No, I think it's actually a pretty good move for them. They've been doing well, and they're doing it geographical. So like you can't, if they're playing a show in like California, we can't see it in New York, and you have to buy a ticket for every show. And I heard it was doing well, and each show had like their own merch or stuff like that. It was kind of like an interesting concept on it, and I feel like if a bigger band did that, it would catch fire. No offense to Suicide.
Rob?
I just got a link. I got an email from Beartooth saying that they're doing a drive-in show.
Oh,
Yeah.
They'll play a show and you just drive up in your car and watch.
Yeah, Metallica
People are
did
gonna
that
get
with the movie screen. They did which was
Movie
interesting.
screen.
Yeah, they just streamed it to all these like drive-ins, which was I didn't even know
It was
that was
just like a
fucking
driving
happening.
movie. It was just happened to be Metallica's.
Yeah, and
SM2.
they were recording it live though. They were streaming it.
yeah,
Oh, I thought. Well, no, you could have watched the SM2 as well. I heard.
Well, that might have been
I know the one you're talking about. The one they did in the Jam Studio, right?
Actually, I think they did it outside. They just did it somewhere. I don't know. I don't fucking
Oh.
know. I wish I went. But yeah, dude, there's gonna be some driving concerts, bro. And I wonder, circle pit drive, like just car demolition derby, like just kind of mad Slayer didn't come back because that would be the fucking idiots that would be like Slayer just driving in a circle like assholes.
I am glad that, you know, they're trying to make the best of a bad situation. I totally respect that. Like we've done that ourselves, but this is not the future I want.
Of course
I'm
not.
putting my foot down now. Like this is not the future that I want. Like I don't want people like if you're I don't like fault people for enjoying it now. Like make the most of it. That's totally fine. I get that. But like don't get out of the mindset of this is our future. Like and it has to be like this down the road because that genuinely scares me and I don't want that at all. And like I want like real concerts to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. But I will say one thing that might come back is I saw the fucking John Joseph from the Cro-Mags did this for his friend's birthday. They rented a box truck and they just played out of a box truck for his friend. And I was like, dude, I would go see a fucking box truck show. Dude, just had like a donut shop in the parking lot and just fucking shred it. Like, what?
I mean, like I like the live stream performances like that are well done, like Trivium's, Behemoths, Lacuna Coil just put on one. Dance Gavin Dance, there you go, Jesse. But like those, I think those are really well done, and I really hope, like you said, I hope it doesn't become permanent like that. That's our future. I think it's just cool now because we really don't get that many live DVDs anymore from bands. You know what I mean? A lot of that has fallen off because like you don't make money from physical, and I feel like bands don't do as much anymore. I could be wrong, and the band's been putting out for a while, and I just don't notice it.
They do it here and there, but it was a big move. Like when fucking Walk With Me in Hell came out, or any of the Slipknot DVDs, or any of those like
Disaster
documentary,
pieces.
documentary style, like Philadelphia.
We still do that, but it's just all been moved to YouTube or like iTunes or whatever. Like we just we have studio updates ourselves, but like it's all just on our Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah, because now it costs less. Now you can just hire some fucking just goofball in a fucking attic with just crazy camera. It's like, follow us around and just upload it. You don't even need like you don't need to get involved with like a DVD company or something.
I mean, our boy James is not a goofball, dude.
Don't talk shit about James.
Don't talk shit about James.
Right,
Chris,
guys.
kick him out of here. Me. Just
we're all fucking goofballs. He's the most serious out of all of us.
Dude, that's a crazy job though. Like your whole job is to pretend to not be there. And it's like when you're really good, it's just like almost creepy. You just turn around and just keep going. Live life.
Fun fact about Behemoth. When I first heard of them, I thought they were called Behemoth. I was only fucking. When I saw them for the first time at Mayhem 2009, I saw them thinking that they were called Behemoth.
Dude, this band is sick. Behemoth.
I think that might have been the first time
I found out that what their real name was. Like after their show, I was looking for All That Remains. So I was a fan of them at the time. Not to really did this, and I was looking for their signing tent. And I couldn't find it, and I asked this one dude, "Hey, do you know where All That Remains is signing?" He's like, "I don't know, man. I know Behemoth is signing over there." And I'm like, "Oh, that's what they're called." Okay.
Actually, we had a fun story. You know the band Allegion?
No. Legion?
Allegion.
No, I don't.
So they were playing a show, and my friend's like, "Yo, I'm gonna buy some Allegion merch or something, or Allegion or something like that." Allegion. He didn't say Legion. So anyway, he goes up to the merch table, and funny enough, the tour manager is running the merch table there. My friend goes, "Yo, I'd like to buy that Legion shirt or whatever." And the guy goes like, "I can't sell it to you if you're gonna say it like that, bro." Shout out to Sandy. Hope you're listening.
Here's even better. This one tops them all. I used to think that Meshuggah was called Messiaga. Doesn't end there. And I knew the name Meshuggah too. So I thought that they were two separate bands. I thought there was a band called Meshuggah and a band called Messiaga, and I thought they were two different bands. And then I'll never forget, it wasn't until our bassist Luke that's when I found out that they were the same band. And
like Batman and Bruce Wayne.
There never was a Messiaga.
Dude, that's why we get along great. I butcher everyone's name, every album title. Like that's my thing.
Dude, it's so fun fucking up words though. Like I think you already know the story, dude. When I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, they didn't have appetizers; they had shareables, and I read it as sharbles. It's like, dude, let's get some sharbles. He's like, shareables. I was like, yeah, it makes way more sense. I don't even know what the fuck a sharble is.
And that was before Jesse had the picture of sangria.
Yeah, just a big old idiot. I don't know how I got out of high school.
All right. We're laughing. We're having fun. It's time for the random silly question segment. You ready? You remember this from last time?
Yeah, dude.
And this time it won't be cut by the end of the show. Like last time we had 5-10 minutes left. Or shit, we got to rush this in. Now we have time. All right. So we're going to start off the fun one. This is new, not from last time. Question number 1. What metal band deserves their own candy bar, and what would it be called? I was gonna say, Ben, we can start with you, unless Rob, you know something better.
Honestly, just because they're fresh in my mind, Meshuggah, because it's got the word sugar in it. So
yeah, we got that one, and someone was like, yeah, because they're so heavy, it has to be like the heaviest candy bar ever. And to me, I was like, I don't know. When I hear Meshuggah, I think of like a musketeer bar, like fluffy, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Thinnest bar of all time.
That's not thin.
Yeah, it's airy as hell. A baby can eat it.
It's thin. Doesn't
whatever.
Mean it's thin.
Thick.
Are you kidding me, bro? Get your sizes right, bud.
Whatever, dog. I'm out. I quit. I'm kidding.
I'd say thin is probably like the fucking thin.
Yeah, thin in size, but thin in constitution. That's the
thin in constitution. Get out of here. Get out. I'm muting you. I'm just kidding. Ben, Rob, what do you got?
I'll say just because of my dietary restrictions, I'll say Architect and some sort of vegan candy bar, because they're all vegan.
Here you go.
Just be what would that?
I'll get some fucking chocolate icing.
That'd be kind of gangster. Yeah, I was thinking glass jaw because we were talking about it. So I'm just like, that would be just glass jaw would be the hardest
pretty
candy bar
good.
every time you bite into it. you
That's
just break
basically a
all your teeth.
jawbreaker.
Yeah, jawbreaker.
Like Three
Ed and
Musketeers,
Eddie.
but with glass in it.
Yeah, we want fuckers to die.
You guys want to hear my awesome contribution that got me thinking of this?
Awesome.
Is every time I die, but I was like every time I crunch bar.
God damn it.
It's so bad. But it makes me laugh every time because it's so cringy.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry,
Dude.
the best. They're one of my favorites.
That is like the cheapest way to answer that question. Though. I always wonder like why people don't just say it. My sugar crunch bar. All right, no creative. Just God damn it.
I was interviewing someone and they're like, yeah, whatever it was, like whatever unusual band it was like, yeah, but it got to be the shape of a penis, the phallic shape of the bar. Just like, I was like, wow, I can't remember which one that was.
Throw
It's
a
pretty
band in
good
there.
though.
Would Detachment make the cock bar? Detachment's new candy bar, the cock bar.
It's detachable too.
It has that milky shit in the middle. The cereal bars, like, has that fake milky stuff.
Yeah, what kind of bar would you guys want? Caramel in it, fudge,
Um,
nuts.
I don't have a preference as to like. Honestly, I love Three Musketeers and Butterfinger. They're so different, but I mean, Butterfinger always gets stuck in your teeth. That's a pain in the ass, but it just tastes so
Yeah.
good. So, yeah.
I'm kind of blown. Yeah. What about you, Rob? You said like, what would be like if you had two options, you had a vegan one. What would you put in
oh,
it?
I just did that. I went to a fancy ass food store and I bought a vegan Crunch bar and a vegan Twix.
They have vegan Twix. I didn't know
They
that.
have vegan everything. They all have funny names. Like instead of a Three Musketeers, they have like a Buccaneers or whatever.
Play on the words. Dude, I love the store brand items all the time. They're like Crispios or something.
Yeah, yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's like a really small food store near me that just sells fancy like weird vegan stuff you wouldn't get at other stores. So that's where I get stuff like that. Yeah.
What was the weirdest vegan shit you ever got? Like you just didn't think you're like, wow, they made a vegan version of that. You're like, what the hell?
I don't know. At this point, they have like everything. I was watching the Food Network, and one of the challenges on like Chopped or something was a can of vegan haggis. And I was like, that's pretty fucked up. Isn't that just like hearts and guts and stuff? Like I don't even know what they're making that out of. Like,
Yeah, what the fuck?
who even wants that?
Yeah, really.
Well, actually, just speaking of, just get in the middle of this fucking silly question thing. As a vegan,
Yeah.
dude, you get like shit all the time. Like people always like, dude, don't tell me about your lifestyle. Like I didn't even tell you I'm vegan yet. It's like, what you?
And I bring it up because we talk about food.
No,
That's
we're
all
literally talking about.
when we talk about food. Otherwise, people don't even know. Most of the people who bring it up are people who are like on my Facebook saying terrible things about vegans, and I'm like, you don't even know that your friend, the vegan, and like you've been shit talking me this whole time on our Facebook. Like,
Yeah, I think that's true. Like, I wouldn't have known if I didn't bring in donuts at one time in the studio.
yeah, exactly right. Most people wouldn't know because what it really is just like you would never ask like it's not weird that a Jewish person eats kosher or whatever. It's like not a problem. It's like they eat their food and you eat your food and everybody just goes about their lives.
No, Rob, if you don't eat chicken nuggets, you make me uncomfortable as a person. It is weird. I had a friend who literally, she was at a dinner and like, she just like, everyone was eating like steak or some shit and she was just eating like something. She's not truly vegan. She's like source meat. Like she only eat it if it's like from like a fucking like farm basically. So like, but she just says she's vegetarian because it's easier than explain the whole shit. And even just vegetarian, like I'm vegetarian. What the fuck did you just say? Like just literally say it's like, what? It's like, eat that steak. What the fuck is wrong? It's just like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? Like, I feel it's almost like religion. Like literally a few like psychopaths that just can't shut the fuck up about what they do. It's like, yeah, now everyone's an asshole. It's like, dude, that one vegan person that threw fucking a celery heart at me.
Right.
Fuck all vegans. It's like, what the fuck?
I like celery.
It's like people heard that one time someone was a dick, so they assume that they're all dicks. I don't think most people know one that is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong because all the people I know are relatively chill, but
I wish I met that person though. That'd be funny. Just
Right.
like get harassed every time because I'm just a fucking disgusting person. So the second I eat like whatever my shit food I eat, that's definitely not vegan. I'd love just getting the stink eye. I'd be like,
Yeah, I don't think McDonald's has
say
vegan
something
chicken
about it because
nuggets.
Also, they shouldn't. I just never understood like when shit restaurants like that. It's like just give up your shit. Like just go to the nice Like there should be more vegan restaurants and stuff. Like I don't know how you feel about that, Rob, because I always like I don't know why I just became the vegan podcast, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, really.
Like,
What happened to the random silly questions segment? Jesse, you really wants to be a vegan?
One.
yeah. We got through one. I thought we did two.
No.
Oh fuck! All right, go back. We'll talk about it. Oh no, I'm right. Hello.
We're blurring Jesse out. We don't
Yeah,
want
get him out of here. He's getting sick. Yeah, fair enough. Go to the second one, Chris.
All right. I mean, this one's speaking of McDonald's anyway, so here we go. If McDonald's had an angry meal, what would it consist of? How would it be? What meal would it be? Like ribs and shit, pancakes?
I mean, what food is angry? Like,
it could be angry in the way it comes out.
Yeah, or makes you feel.
It's like Dave Attell is like,
I guess
hummus is like you start off sitting, you end up kneeling. That's a bad shit. He's just like,
I guess like burnt. I guess if it came out burnt, because like they were so mad that they like overcooked it or something. But yeah, I would just think of like whatever a traditional Happy Meal is, but it's just burnt, and the toy's burnt too. So, it's your fucking toy, kids.
You know, it'd be great. It comes out, like the
Reloaders.
The 25 cents that come out of the little balls. Imagine just another bill. Just like, it's $5. You also owe $50. What the fuck? It's like, see how angry you are? Come again. Those
things are so fucking like junky, man. Those toys that always came with it.
Is if you order it and then they just give you like if you order something and the car behind you orders something and they just switch your food
purposely every time.
Yeah,
Just make you angry.
Yeah.
We got a good one from Casey Australian. He said like the McRib with the
he basically said combine every burger, just have all the patties on one, just make it 5,000 calories.
The double quarter pounder and the fucking with the McRib, and I was like, and then it made me think of the McGriddle. Holy shit! Have you guys had the McGriddle?
No.
I talk about this like every time we.
It's a brutal concept, honestly.
It's basically like 2 pancakes, like in between it's sausage and cheese kind of thing, and it's just like. It tastes good. It does. I won't deny that. But you feel so sluggish after. And if that's only in the breakfast, you obviously are getting it before 10 a.m. Holy shit. You can't go on without your day.
I do have a funny McDonald's story.
Here we go.
Hit it. And Rob, you remember this. It was before we were about to play a show. This was way back in the day. We were in high school. And
yeah.
it was like, so it was right before we were about to play a show and we went to a McDonald's. And I think Rob spotted me because he was such a good friend and I didn't have any money, probably. But I told him what I wanted and he ordered everything for all of us. So then the guy brings out the very same thing that I ordered. So I assumed it was mine. So I just took it and back to the table and I just started eating it. Rob didn't see me happen. So then Rob comes out with a full tray of food with all of ours on it. And Rob's like, what is that? I'm like, I have your food right here. So I stole somebody else's food. And then I was already eating it. You know what? I was already halfway done with it. What was I going to do? Give it back to him? So I went outside and just started eating the rest of it by the car because I did not want to get caught. So I got 2 free meals that day.
That's fucking funny.
That's pretty gangster.
I always one of those like things like, when they just have the order number, they go like, Chris, and I'm like, what? Actually, funny enough, when I went to go pick up food for my coworkers and they're like, Natalie, and I'm like,
Natalie, right?
I'm Natalie.
And they just kind of look at me, but they don't question and they just give it to me, and I'm like, here we go, thanks.
I feel like a funny name. Well, back in the day for you, because you had the crazy, you basically look like actually Rob Flynn's short. You basically look like Rob Flynn. It'd be great. It's like Jade. I'm Jade. It's a good move. Yeah, actually, I thought I looked at the Happy Meal the other day because I frequent McDonald's. And I looked at the ingredients. It's kind of a fucking angry meal in itself. It's a fucking chicken nuggets with apples and a juice.
I mean, like they're trying to be healthier to kids, Like, they've been responsible for childhood obesity for like decades now, so they don't want to be responsible for that.
Fuck that. The parents are. What?
Yeah.
You're right.
The parents are bringing them there. It's not like a 5-year-old's getting there on his own.
Yeah.
Well, true.
I always thought like someone at my work, she has a few kids and they're fatties, and she's a fatty. And I'm a fatty, and I was kind of like, I don't know. I go to McDonald's. They just give me what I want because it's a business. It's like they're going to stop me. Like, wait, what's your BMI? 35%. Get that down to 24 before you can order here again. It's like, what?
It's like what Ron Swanson said. You know, it's just like, this is America. If you want to like eat junk food and balloon up to 5,000 pounds, you're right. You have the freedom to do so.
Without a doubt, dude. It's a loser mentality, but the second I cross the threshold of the McDonald's drive-thru or the door, I made a decision to lose that day. I'm eating and I'm gonna feel bad the second I put that shit in my face.
To do so.
Exactly. Like I just like my friend was like, "Oh, dude,
right.
Wendy's is better because it's never frozen beef." I'm like, "You're an idiot. It's all shit. What are you talking about?" It's like we're making a decision.
Oh no, they didn't say it was good. They just said it was better.
Yeah, there was idiots that just trying to be right about something.
Like people say, like technically Taco Bell is the healthiest out of them all. They're not saying it's healthy. They're just saying out of the. What was that, Rob?
That on the internet thing, because I do Taco Bell the most because I can get beans on everything, right?
Yeah.
And somebody on the internet was like, "Oh, you know, those are powdered and then mixed with water." And I was like, "I don't think that they like grow the bean there. I don't really."
Yeah, they have a fucking farm.
That could be the same thing with the beef. I didn't realize that either. It's like these pellets that you mix hot water to and mix it around, and then it's ground beef.
Dude, I watched the cake get decorated when I worked at Stop and Shop, and that's basically how they put meat into tacos. They just have this long string of and it's just like, there you go, you got your beef. I'm like, it's just like, it's weird.
Right, we got one more question left. You guys ready?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Most awkward stage moment for either of you.
I've had plenty of moments, not plenty, but I've had more than one moments where my kick pedal is just falling apart like mid-set, and it's just a nightmare scenario, and I can't do anything about it. I can't stop the song. And so basically, like any time where I'm not playing for like 5 seconds, I have to rush and put it back on. But those are the worst.
That sounds fucking terrible. Well,
Yeah.
it's never the fucking second pedal too. It's always your main one. You just gotta start like, God damn it.
Exactly. No, the second one's giving me shit too, but like,
really?
I've had moments like that, and they're literal nightmare, anxiety-inducing scenarios. I mean, doesn't kill me. I'm still here. I don't think the audience knows. Maybe I hope they don't. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be goofy. His pedal broke. Idiot. It's just like
a while since that happened.
Oof, dude, fuck that pedal break. What about you, Rob?
I have like infinite. They're all kind of small. Do dumb stuff every single time because I run around and just I want somebody to remember me. So regardless, I'm just like, I got to do something. So there's times I fell on my face on the stage. Like there was like there's one time I just tripped. I was stepping onto the stage and I just tripped and fell flat down. Really loud, really stupid.
Was that like in the beginning of the set, like you're trying to get on, or like you jumped off or something?
I just hop on and off a lot. I got a wireless mic and I make it work.
Fucking everywhere.
I mosh while I sing. Actually, I think, the lead guy from Moontooth did that, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does that. Or you could be like the chariot bassist who just throws his bass around in the pit.
Yeah.
I remember like that. I was like, that's a fast way to kill the pit. Everyone's like, oh my God. Like, this is like, what? Like,
that is something, is that even if that's something you have to consider, is that like if you do get too much in the pit, people might stop moshing because they don't want to hurt the band.
Oh yeah.
So I usually go in and I push people into the pit when there's about to be a breakdown and to like get it started, but then I don't usually hang out because people are like afraid to hit me during the set.
Oh yeah. Or you get the opposite, their head collector. I want to take out every band member in the pit.
There's nothing worse than a singer, like, and I've been in the crowd for this happen. This was like back in like the Vibe Lounge days, Rob, where just like there's like 10 people just awkwardly watching a band, and the singer just like physically gets in the crowd and he starts pushing people, but none of them want to move. So he's just pushing people and like get nothing out of it. And we're just like, dude, I'm sorry, but like it's not gonna happen.
That's rough.
I mean, Rob's made it work. Rob's definitely pushed people and they end up moshing, but like that was the most awkward situation I've ever.
You won't start the pit? I will.
The dude was like pushing everybody and just nobody was fucking moving.
Dude, it sucks. That's almost up there with calling for a wall of death and no one does shit.
Yeah.
It's like you got to read the room, dude. I remember I saw a band, actually a really big band like that I liked, and they're like, dude, fuck it, wall of death, and it was just like, no one's doing it, dude.
The
like,
people kind of in the front did it, like they spread apart, and then the rest are like,
Yeah. Well, you give up, dude. I'm not on fucking stage, but my original drum set, the fucking floor tom legs fell off, so I had to duct tape them on. I didn't know as a kid you could take drum heads on and off when I first started drumming. So I was like, fuck it, I guess this is it. I could see the screws. And one time I was playing with someone and I hit the floor tom and the leg just all fell off and it just tumbled down. I was like,
Wasn't your kit moving at our talent show?
No, not that one. I only played
Oh.
one live show that was actually a real live show. I got the whole experience. The headline band made us go on last because they didn't want their family out that late. And then basically the singer just put his arms around his whole family and all these friends like, let's go party. As they left, I was like, we're about to go on. This is our first show. What the fuck?
We've been in that situation. Like,
Yeah.
I've talked to people like, hey man, like, do you think you could like stick around for us? And they're like, oh, think about it.
I'll do it. And
And
it's
they-
like,
1 in the morning.
dude, the best part, I used the drummer of that band's kit. He stayed around because he was friends with my brother, and the drum set kept moving. So there's a video we have of it that my friend has, and literally you could see me like playing, and my fist is down below, pulling the kit back as I'm like playing. I'm like, what the fuck? And then one double bass part, the kit was like this. The bass drum was sideways.
Oh my god.
And I put a hole in the bass drum. Luckily, it lasted till the end, but because it was stabbing, it was at such an angle. I was like, luckily it isn't my kid. I was like, I'm fucking out of here. It's like, this show sucked. Peace. Just throw the drumstick. Like, I'm out of here. Dude.
That was the
Fucking
random silly question segment.
shows are fun, dude. Shows are fun, dude. Fails or like people who can't read the room, like you said. That shit is fucking hilarious. I knew someone that threw drumsticks out to no crowd, and it just hit the floor, and all you could hear is clink, 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 and no one gave a fuck. They're like, all right, they're drumsticks. He picked them back up. He left.
Picked him all up.
That's like the walk of shame right there.
It was a shallow ceiling too, so you had to like push him out. He couldn't even like throw him. I was just like, this sucks. I was like, don't do that.
This is the worst.
Oh, bro.
Nice little office moment there. But guys, before we let you go, what's in store? Where can bands follow you? Where can they look for updates? And Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, the whole, those are our two big platforms. Just
And you have your own website, correct?
kind of.
Oh, is it not like what happened?
yeah, I thought you guys had your own website.
It's like we haven't really updated.
Okay,
it,
fair enough.
so
I was just like, did they lock it out? I was like, because I actually like it. I went and found it. I was like, oh, this is a nice website.
I saw one band do this where they had their website, and then on the side, whatever they posted on, like, I forgot what it was, either Facebook or Instagram, it showed up on the side of the website. So you got whatever the website was, and then you had all their Instagram feed. So it's all in one place.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, so Instagram and Facebook is your main, and then do you guys have a Bandcamp by any chance or anything like that where you can
We're
buy
on
music?
Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah,
Oh,
and,
nice.
We're probably on the other crap like Deezer and Pandora, but like we don't pay attention
Yeah,
to that.
Yeah.
we're on everything. We get our music's on everything. We're definitely trying to push the Spotify numbers right now. And if anyone's big on Twitter, we have 20 Twitter followers, and I need a reason to start posting on there. Anybody follows us, I'll start using it.
Dude, Twitter is a rough game, dude. I like Instagram way the fuck more. You just
Oh,
post
yeah.
something, people just show up. I'm like, how are you guys even finding us? Twitter, like, no one gives a fuck.
I've never had a Twitter my entire life, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I only do it for memes at this point. Like, I just look for memes. And,
Twitter memes?
yeah, here and there, like people posting. You follow
Really?
people who post memes.
I mean, to me, it's really good for like info that you need now. So like, I mean, for fantasy hockey and sports like that, if you want to find out actually what trade or who's starting or something like that, it's like right there. Same thing with like, if I want to find out like a band actually posted a song over a member quit or something, I just search it right there and it comes right up. That's
true.
useful.
Or someone dies, just look up RIP.
Yeah, but
That's
if
the
you
best-
actually want like band updates, I feel like Facebook is really good, and Instagram. I don't really use Facebook because I don't like, but Instagram is great for that kind of shit. Just keeping you
Instagram is
updated
great.
with your bands.
But yeah, this very new heavy song from us should be coming around October. So
Awesome.
definitely in October, and I think we're gonna upload it to DistroKid today. So right after.
I'm so after the way you guys talked about it, I'm looking forward to that shit.
We're very proud of it. We're
It's gonna be
very
awesome.
proud of it.
And dude, well, thank you so much for you guys coming on. This is my
Yeah.
first time being on a show with you guys, so it was super fun hanging out with you guys. Get to see Ben
Yeah.
again. What's up, doggy? Rob, new best friend. How's it going, dog? Glassjaw buddies. We got
Oh, yeah.
Sangria boys and Glassjaw boys in here. Let's go.
Yeah, guys, it's always a pleasure having you on. And remember, you're always welcome back when you drop the song. If you want to come on and promote it again, more
Definitely
than welcome to,
back.
guys.
Awesome.
Out.
Awesome.
Talk to you guys later, though. It was super fun hanging out with you guys.
Peace, guys. Have a good one. And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience podcast right now. This is your boy, Chris. We got Jesse here. What's up, dude?
What's up, pals? How's it going?
And that was an awesome time with Detachment. Rob and Ben, awesome dudes. Vocalist, drummer. It's the best combo, right?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Those two dudes was great. I met Ben before, and it was cool to get more like of a discussion going on because obviously, you know, when you meet someone in an outside situation, you're not always talking a lot. So it's cool to learn more about his band. And also, I got an excuse to check out the band and their studio updates, and it was super
I
cool.
just need an excuse to check them out.
I
guys.
definitely do, because I'm a bubblehead, dude. I need an excuse because I forget. If I just like say I'm going to listen to it, like I still haven't listened to the new Mastodon album. Like,
Actually, come to think of it now, did we ever say Gaslight EP? Did we ever drop that for them last time?
Nope.
Wow. Yeah, they dropped. Well,
They said it in the podcast. They mentioned Gaslight, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned it too because they've been on the show 2 or 3 times now. So actually, this will be the 3rd time. But yeah, we had him on the radio portion of the show at WMSC in studio, and we actually had them right before. I think it was like right before the EP came out.
Yeah, January 17th,
played it,
by the way.
January 17th, yeah, Gaslight EP. And we played it entirely on my show. It was a lot of fun. We talked about
really
it.
Good.
And yeah, really, guys, check it out. It's on Spotify. They need those streams. So I think they also said if you want to keep in contact with them, stay updated, Instagram and Facebook is the best way. They also have a website as well. So you could look at that. But
they said they haven't been updating. So definitely check out Facebook, Instagram first.
Yeah, so it's all there. I mean, the Instagram and Facebook is on the website as well, so you can find it there.
Fair
so
enough.
Anyway, yeah, Gaslight EP, but they said they're working on new shit too, so that's really awesome. I can't wait.
The way
every time I die, the every time I die description was pretty spot on.
I'm as you know, Ben said he's a diehard Suicide Silence fan. I am a diehard every time I die. Not today, microphone. I almost fell out. Not today. Also, I like lining up our mic stand. Are you on my left or right?
It never lines up, by the way, when you say that.
It does. Look at it. I took a picture. All right, whatever. Yeah, but every time fucker. No, it got me. Oh,
it's like, I got you, bitch.
I can't move it around. Look, it stays so thick, but the second I move it, like what the fuck?
It's okay. We don't.
Cool.
We
I'll leave
mics, right?
I won't touch it. But yeah, with the description of both songs are dope, and I can't wait to see it. And also, I was happy to nail. I feel like I'm really good at that. If I'm not good at anything, I'm really good
Jesse
at
brags.
nailing.
Modest Jesse here, guys.
Modest Mouse Jesse here. Great band. Just named it. I don't know why you give the devil horns for Modest Mouse, but the Glassjaw reference. The second I heard him sing, there was a few choruses in that EP. Also, is 7 tracks an EP or an album? I feel like if 7 tracks is an album at that point, even if it's 30 minutes, how many hardcore albums are 25 minutes?
I've had arguments with my one friend, shout out to Stringham, about this. I was like, oh yeah, EPs are usually like 3 or 4 tracks. Like, no, EPs can be, it goes by the length, like the minutes.
Then how many?
So then it's really hard to actually decipher what an EP is.
Is there one hardcore album out there then?
Because
all of them are 20 to 25 minutes.
Yeah, but then I was like, oh yeah, but then there's like 12 tracks. He's like, yeah, but it goes by. I'm like, that's an EP. That's an LP then. It was just a really silly argument. I think anything with like 4 to 5 tracks, if it does have 7, I
think 3 to 4. When I think 3 or 4, that's EP to me.
I want to call 5 an album though. Like a new album's out, unless it's like again,
up Between the Bear to Me.
Yeah, then you have Between the Bear to Me, 5 songs, but their album is like 40 minutes.
Well, that was it. The Parallax EP is literally an hour. It's 45 minutes. You just said it. 3 songs, 45 minutes. It's an EP though.
Yes.
They call it the Parallax EP. They don't call it an album. The second album was an album, and it had 12 tracks on it. So it's like, I think people go by. Also, poor word choice, by the way. Whoever came up with EP and LP, extended play, long play. Don't they both kind of mean the same thing in a way? I pissed me off when I found that out. I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, because wasn't it like extended play is an extension of the album? That's what they were trying to say.
I guess so. It didn't make sense to me, unless I'm not a reader, so could make sense. Also, I look at my hair, but yeah, I think he's wrong. I think because grindcore albums, all of them are 10 minutes, and it's like 10 tracks.
I think it really comes down to how the band looks at it, the person writing it.
Nah, fuck that. 7 track, that's an album. I'm kidding. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I was just kind of thinking about that because they said it was an EP.
I mean, if anyone can like prove us wrong or has a nice little comment to add to this, comment below.
Yeah, who was around during the creation of the record? That would help us a lot.
Someone said that too back in the day when it was actually a record and an EP. It was something with like how many actual physical records there were. Someone was saying that.
Yeah, it could make sense. Also,
I
do
did
miss-
hear that too online, but anyway.
Well, look at what North. Oh
Norma
my God,
Jean?
no.
Norm Macdonald.
No. Who did we?
Norman Rockwell.
North Kingsley.
Oh, Ray?
EP, 3 songs.
Yeah, but that makes an album.
When they all come together at the end.
Yeah, that's why they're doing that.
Acacia Strain was EPs until the album came out.
Exactly, yeah.
And they were all 2 tracks. Also, I love that. I love that. Like, because that we didn't grow up. I know I didn't. I didn't see single records. Like when you used to go to the store and actually buy a record because it was a single song.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, even though in a way you're spending probably more money, but it's more money to the band, and it's just cool. Like, imagine being so psyched. Like, it's cool I can wake up in the morning when I used to go to work, and, like, I see singles or fucking albums released at 4 in the morning when I'm waking up, and I get to listen to the most brutal death metal or something on the way to work.
Hatebreed.
Boom. That song's heavy as fuck. But, like, imagine going to the store and just picking up one little mini disc. I kind of like that, though. Not the CD. I hated the CD shit. When you buy the full case, I think that's a waste of plastic. You're killing some nature. But the record, I don't know why. Just the, like, small disc. It looks cooler, right? I don't know. I don't know why. Who gives a fuck on the Military Experience podcast about that? But I like
Sure,
it.
bud.
Cool.
Whatever you say.
But, yeah, I was thinking about that because I thought it was an album. But, you know, Detachment said it was an EP. And because it is 30, it's 25 minutes altogether. Or 27 minutes. It's really close to 30.
Yeah, it was always a Gaslight EP. That's how they always
It was
marketed
dope.
as.
Yeah, and it was dope, by the way.
Some bands also, too, I noticed this, they put it out as an EP because it featured some old stuff that they did when they weren't really a band and some new stuff. And
Would that be a
some people-
compilation album? Like, that's what Mastodon called. Didn't they call that this? Because it's a bunch of live songs and songs like B-sides?
Well, that's a little different. I meant like the Life Split EP. Remember that?
Yeah.
By Mastodon, that was more like old shit that they did. And that.
Or Unearth, I think, first album or second album. They, like, had, like, basically all they – oh, no, the second album or is an EP or something. I don't know what you'd call it. But the first – they had all the live tracks they played live with, like, the first or second album. And then they had, like, 3 new songs. Because it confused the shit out of me. I just went to Unearth, hit played at the beginning, and it was like – I was like, what? These are all the same songs. And it was, like, 3 new tracks mixed in with a whole live CD.
I don't remember. I mean, that's another way to market it too. Like if a band comes out with a live DVD or live CD or something, it's like, I heard these already, but they're like, yeah, but we're gonna feature 3 new tracks on the album too. They're like, well, now I got to pick it up. I think Lamb of God did that with Hit the Wall, right?
Hourglass. No, Hit the Wall was a single for an Iron Man video game.
What was the new song then?
On Hourglass, it was all there was like one was like live or remastered or demos. The other one was like Japanese like world tracks because they make it for like Japan. So it was a bunch of like it was like Nippian, Nail in the Coffin, like all those from like all those different albums. And then I think there was a new track somewhere on there.
And you couldn't get it without buying it.
And guess what? You could buy all the ones separate except for the one.
No,
that was the Japanese singles. It was the one because that was all the songs I never
take your
heard.
word for it anymore because you just don't know what you're saying.
Fuck it. I'll just look it up. We're on the goddamn podcast. So talk about the interview, Chris.
Yeah, so I talked to Randy and he said Jesse was full of shit. I did talk to Randy. Check it out on soundcloud.com/WMSC. Nice little plug right there. It's also on YouTube as well. So if you want to hear my chat with Randy Bly of Lamb of God. So
damn right, he's a gangster.
Shout out.
So basically, so what happened was they had the underground years, so you basically had a mixture of all the songs from like As the Palaces Burn, Burn the Priest, Wrath, and then the epic years. It was all like it was all the best songs basically. It was all different songs, so like all their singles from all the albums. And then the Vault, that was the one you couldn't buy. It was an hour long. It had all of demo versions and all the Japanese tracks. So technically so it wasn't – okay, that's how they get you. So it wasn't a new song. It was just songs that me and you never heard before because they were on Japan. Shut up. Leave me alone. Actually, those don't even matter anymore.
What the fuck is the name of the new song then?
I just deleted it.
For some reason, I don't know why I'm thinking of like Hives and Bunny, the Honey.
It's We Die Alone, Shoulder of God. Well, that was on the special edition wrap, so we got that. So the Japanese was Condemn the Hive, Another Nail in Your Coffin, Nippion, which was on American Gospel.
Condemn the Hive, that was it. I knew it's something with bees and honey and hive. I was like, what the fuck?
Bees, honey, Lamb of God.
Cheerios.
Yeah. Oh, no, that was a different song because I was thinking of, what was that song they released for their dead friend or something? It was that guy. It came out. It was the first time Randy sang. It was the first time Randy sang. Everyone was like talking about that. It was right before.
You mean on the new album?
The Duke EP. Remember that was when the Duke
Duke,
EP. The guy, their friend Wayne Ford died after 5 years. Shut up! It's not a dick way to say it. I just remember their friend died and they made an EP for him, and they raised money for leukemia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good cause. The way
Shut
you're
up! Don't
fucking
laugh.
saying
You're
it.
making me look like an asshole.
Because the way you're saying is so ridiculous.
Oh,
You're so scatterbrained about it. Died. Like what?
he fucking died.
Oh my god. See, the outro is the best. Is when Jesse's
you're making me out to be way worse.
Remember that time you said
guy.
Ozzy sucks at singing?
Never heard it. Like Ozzy's a legend and all, but sometimes his voice kind of sucks. Like I don't care. Okay. Kidding.
Are you calling the Prince of Darkness? Did
Nah,
you say he
we're-
sucks?
Actually, we'll cut that out. I
No,
don't think so.
this is a clip right now. So all the people hate you. It's going on Instagram.
No.
The Twitter, the social media.
Never said it.
This is another clip right there. I should just edit it. So you. Oh man,
I'm
this
about to
is
go
so
evil
good.
Jesse right
Here it
right
is.
there. The lighting.
Darkness.
I thought it was
Look
gonna hit
like
a lot
something from
harder.
Game of Thrones. Or not. All right, bud. This is where you end the podcast. Jesse, you do some reactions, right?
Yeah, I do it on YouTube. yeah.
Plug your shit.
Find it for yourself. YouTube.com/C/Insid1 and my Instagram. I don't even care about my Twitter anymore. Fuck Twitter. Insid stream. I don't even like. Yeah, you follow my Twitter too. I want numbers.
Yeah, don't follow me on my social media platforms. Thanks.
No, I'm actually thinking about deleting my Twitter because I just don't like Twitter, man. It really is a benefit for. I know, right? I gotta stop talking shit about Twitter, but it's like I
anything
Instagram is
helps
better.
in some sort of way. It's just another way to promote your thing. So I think
Yeah.
Twitter's
for
good
Twitter.
for news blasts. Like, I mean, we just talked about this on the podcast, but like
Yeah.
news blasts, it's useful for. I mean, I don't go on it to find updates on bands. I just go on it if I want to find something out like urgent, like really update. Because if you Google stuff, sometimes like it's not posted yet. News, like if you go to Google News, sometimes it's not like the most accurate thing. Like, for example, here's a perfect example of this. I put in the Hatebreed song. I put in Hatebreed, Weight of False Self, right? Or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
And I put that in, or Self False, whatever. So anyway, I put it
Or
into
False Self.
Google, and it kept saying Hatebreed announces new album. Hatebreed, it wasn't coming up with the fucking new song.
Oh,
was
Twitter's
getting
good for
annoyed.
instant news. I agree with that. If you
Exactly.
want to
So I
find
put
someone
in
that
Twitter,
died,
it came
it's
right
really
out.
good.
Yeah,
Like,
someone
it's
died,
really
like
good.
Chadwick
Anytime I hear
That's how I found out about that.
Who?
Black Panther, Chadwick.
Oh yeah, Chad Boseman, yeah. Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Twitter was like everywhere on my feed was about that. I was like, cool.
Yeah. Well, also, like, dude, when I heard Jack Black died, you find out if it's real or not.
Huh?
Also, when people like it's like not real, like a rumor about someone dies.
Oh yeah.
Like they said, I remember Jack Black was like Jack Black died. I'm like, what? And then it was like on Twitter, it was like, no, it's bullshit. I was like, okay, good.
Oh, who came out recently? It was
Eminem.
No, Rush.
Oh no,
What's his name? Getty.
Geddy Lee.
Yeah. He came out. I was like, I'm not dead, even though it was trending on Twitter.
Well, that was a joke with the one. I only watched one Sid Bad special, and that was like 2009 or 8. And literally, he starts off. It's like, I was like, motherfucker, I haven't been around. Wikipedia killed me. It's like I was alive. They thought I was dead for like 4 years. I had to wave, like get out of my house. Like, no, I'm still here. Like I'm alive.
People shit on Sinbad for being old and shit like that, and like it has been. But
He has corny humor, but man, that special. That
dude, we
one,
saw him at Levity. He was
so
great.
funny. Yeah,
I actually saw him in person not too
he
well.
is a vet comedian. Like, you know, he's not the best, but who cares? Like people always say that shit.
Jingle All the Way.
I fucking hate that, by the way.
Jingle
When
All the
people
Way.
like, no, that's a great movie. But no, my friend says it's like, dude, that band is not going to make a mark on music history. I was like, good, because none of your bands that you like are going to either. So that means all your bands suck. Are you an idiot?
You're really
It's
calling
like-
out this one guy a lot.
Yeah, I love him. But like when he said, because when he said that, that blew my fucking mind. I was like that's every band that everyone listens to. Who listens to only legends? There's only like 5 legends. There's no like, that's how legends work. Imagine there was a million legends. They're not legends anymore. That's just a bunch of assholes. Like it's just like, oh yeah, it's all the best music. Like I give it. But
We
it's
should
like,
just call it like after the podcast, after the interview. We should just call this Jesse Rants. What grinds his gears?
what grinds my gears? Well, because it's ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. Like, yeah, oh, you're not Led Zeppelin. Well, they stole their whole discography. What the fuck do you want?
And then
Like,
when someone tries to be the next Led Zeppelin, they get shit on.
Yeah, like, Greta Van Fleet's great. I don't give a fuck that it sound like it.
Wow, I didn't even say that. You just thought of that
Yeah,
immediately.
I knew exactly what you're talking about because everyone's like, they're just Led Zeppelin. It's like, that kid's got a voice. I've never seen so many 50-year-old women got very dangerous looking eyes looking at a fucking 18 to 21-year-old. He's like, whoa, just starts singing. Oh, like I was like, oh, this is gross. Like I was like, they were great, but the audience is gross. It was almost like the metal or the rock version of Justin Bieber when all the moms were like, isn't he cute? I was like, 15, get away, you 45-year-old.
Same that old, but yeah.
But isn't that weird though?
Yeah.
When Justin Bieber first came out, remember all the women celebrities? They were just like, I would kiss him. It was like, you're 30 something, leave him alone. Like now he's adult and he's fucking
Now,
around.
dude, now I saw a meme recently. They're like, I can't tell if this is Ellen or Eminem.
Oh, so
And it was like a picture of him. You look like both of them.
So
But
mean. Well, also
right.
Twitter almost killed Eminem, by the way. That's why I wanted to say. I know I'm so ADD, but that's what happened on Twitter now. People are just trending, and
they're trying
all
to
the
just kill people.
no, but all the tweets are, motherfucker, I thought he was dead. Like it literally was Eminem. Oh, thank God Eminem's not dead. That was all the tweets. It's like, I don't know why.
Oh, when you see something trending on
Yeah.
Twitter, you just immediately think they're dead.
Everybody's like, fuck, he's dead. And then it becomes
Yeah.
trending because everybody literally is just tweeting, I thought that fucker was dead. Like it happened like the last 5 times in like 2 weeks. I was like,
I saw that with Mel Gibson, but he just put out a new movie trailer. And I was like, oh, shit, Mel Gibson died? Yeah,
No.
I thought that too. I was like, shit.
it's funny, dude. It's funny how the internet could kill you and you're not even dead. I'll never forget that bit. That Sinbad is so funny. Wikipedia killed me. I've been alive for this whole time. I'm just broke. I go to the strip club. I listen to the music. You want to dance? No, I'm just here for the good tunes. He's just looking around like this fucking guy. Also, he plays drums. Didn't know that, by the way. Fun fact. He opened that special playing drums with the band.
Oh, shit, look at that.
I don't know. No one gives a fuck about Sinbad on this podcast. But, yeah.
Fun facts with Jesse.
Twitter. Fun facts. Also, fuck hating. Love it. Love music.
Fuck
Detachment's
Twitter.
dope. Ben and Rob were dope.
Check them out.
It was super awesome. Chris, do your plugs now. Those were my plugs. Do your plugs now.
Guys, still do my show Tuesday night, 7 to 10 on WMSC. Tuesday nights, 7 to 10. You listen with the iHeart Radio app. I know a lot of people getting confused about that. You could just go to the website. You can download the app. You go to the website on your phone. If that really, I mean, just anywhere you can just put in iHeart Radio. You put in WMSC, it comes right up. A couple people are asking me like, so how do you listen to your show? I think the easiest one too, without downloading, you just go to WMSCradio.com. That's it, and it plays automatically.
Private
when you get on there.
RSS feed, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, and it has like a mobile thing, so you can actually shut off your screen. So that's useful. We had Live 365 back in the day, and it had trouble with that. But anyway, you check it out there. Me and Ram talk about the boys. The boys. Shout out to them being complete. I mean, I understand why they're doing, but they're putting it out episode by episode. I thought the whole thing about streaming platforms is I could binge it in one day if I wanted. I digress.
TV. It's becoming TV.
It is becoming TV. Me and Ram were right. We called it. Fucking called it. But yeah, if you missed the show, mixcloud.com/MTB experience. It's a little outdated, but the shows will be there. So look forward to that.
Yeah, this motherfucker's crushing the game. And also, I want to say one thing.
Crushing the game.
Speaking of the boys, watch Cobra Kai. It's on Netflix now. It's on YouTube Premium. Fantastic series.
Yeah.
That first season alone was worth YouTube Premium, let alone, I think, the second season.
Now they have nothing. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm blown away. How the fuck did they lose that show? That show was so good.
Yeah, me and Ron were talking about that, and we really don't know if it's like.
So they get so big, they were like, fuck it, we're going to Netflix now.
Well, the thing is, I assumed that YouTube owned them or had like, like.
Well, they probably just had what was the band that said it? Oh, actually, no, not band. Joe Rogan. Like Spotify has Joe Rogan's podcast, but they have no creative control. They just did a
Well, that's because it was already like Joe Rogan already had a name for himself.
No, but I know. But if you make an argument that you're bringing back fucking Karate Kid as adults, one, that's just a great pitch. Like you're just getting to see.
Yeah, but it's also risky too.
Fuck that. Yeah,
I don't know if people are gonna go for it.
You know what the best part of that show? That the whole show is. You ever see that video where the guy commentates over the video and basically convinces you why the main character is actually the bad guy?
Yeah,
It's so
I
funny.
heard
It's a
about it, though.
3-minute video. It goes throughout. He's like, look at him. He's just sitting here, minding his own business. And out comes Johnny, pushing him and knocking him into the sand. Now, what kind of right mind? Look at this guy. He's just enjoying the smoke inside of a fucking stall, and he pours water on him. What a bad guy. Like, he's just constantly, and that's kind of what the series is about. Like, the adult is like, the bad guy is actually like, his life shitting on him. He's kind of like, and then Johnny's kind of a cocky prick. Like, it's just, he owns like a dealership. It's like, it's a great show, dude. I don't know why I'm going hard. Detachment and Cobra Kai. Put those two together. Watch them.
But guys, until next time, keep it real.